Walisongo and its roles to spread Islam in Indonesia in 14th century. Walisongo means the Nine Saints. Islam entered Indonesia in the 14th century through merchants from Gujarat, India. Then Islam spread first to Sumatra, new to the island of Java. On this island of Java, Islam evolved because of the role of Walisongo or Saint of Nine. There are 9 so-called wali, as spreaders of Islam in Java. These 9 saints live in the important areas of the north coast of Java Island, namely Surabaya, Gresik, Lamongan, Tuban, Demak, Kudus, Muria, and Cirebon. The presence of Walisongo ends the dominance of Hindu-Buddhist culture in the archipelago that first entered Indonesia with Islamic culture. Their role as spreaders of Islam on the island of Java is very popular compared to other religious figures. So reasonable, until now Walisongo never escaped from the history of Islam in Indonesia. They are a symbol of the spread of Islam in Indonesia, especially in Java. Walisongo consists of Saint Maulana Malik Ibrahim, Saint Ampel, Saint Giri, Saint Bonaeng, Saint Rajad, Saint Kaliyaga, Saint Kudus, Saint Muria, and Saint Gunung Jati. They do not live at exactly the same time, but each other who has a close relationship, if not in blood bonds also in the teacher-student relationship. Maulana Malik Ibrahim is the oldest. Saint Ampel's son Maulana Malik Ibrahim. Saint Giri is Maulana Malik Ibrahim's nephew, who also means Saint Ampel's cousin. Saint Bonaeng and Saint Rahad are the sons of Saint Ampel. Saint Kaliyaga is a friend and student of Saint Bonaeng. Saint Muria son Saint Kaliyaga. Saint Kudus student Saint Kaliyaga. Saint Gunung Jati is another saint companion, except for Maulana Malik Ibrahim, who died earlier. They lived on the north coast of Java from the early 15th century until the middle of the 16th century, in 3 important areas, namely Surabaya, Gresik, Lamongan in East Java, Demak, Kudus, Muria in Central Java, and Cirebon in West Java. They are intellectuals who became the reformers of society in their time. They introduced new forms of civilization, from health, cultivation, commerce, culture and art, society to government. Pesantren Ampel Denta and Giri were the 2 most important educational institutions of the time. From Giri, Islamic civilization flourished throughout the eastern archipelago. Saint Giri and Saint Gunung Jati are not only clerics, but also government leaders. Saint Giri, Bonaeng, Kaliyaga, and Kudus are art creators whose influence is still felt today, while Saint Muria is a true companion of the commoners. The Walisongo era is the end of Hindu-Buddhist dominance in the archipelago culture to be replaced by Islamic culture. They are symbols of the spread of Islam in Indonesia, especially in Java. Of course, many other figures also play a role. Yet their enormous role in establishing the Islamic kingdom in Java, as well as its influence on the wider culture of the people and the Dawa directly, made these 9 saints more widely spoken than others. Each of these figures has a unique role in the spread of Islam, starting from Maulana Malik Ibrahim, who placed himself as a physician for the Hindu Majapahit kingdom, Saint Giri called the colonialists as the Pope of the East, to Saint Kaliyaga, who created artwork by using nuances that can be understood by the Javanese society, that is, Hindu and Buddhist nuances. 1. Saint Maulana Malik Ibrahim. Maulana Malik Ibrahim, or Makdum Ibrahim as Samarkandi, is thought to have been born in Samarkand, Central Asia, in the first half of the 14th century. The Mines Mazbabad Tanajawi called it Asmarakandi, following the pronunciation of the Javanese tongue against as Samarkandi, transformed into Asmarakandi. Maulana Malik Ibrahim is sometimes also referred to as Sheikh Maghribi. Some people even call it Grandfather Pillow. He is related to Maulana Ishaq, the famous cleric in Pasai Ocean, and father of Saint Giri, Raid and Pakhu. Ibrahim and Isaac were the sons of a Persian cleric, named Maulana Jumad al-Kubro, who settled in Samarkand. Maulana Juman al-Kubro is believed to be the 10th descendant of Sayyidina Hussein, the grandson of the Prophet Muhammad. Maulana Malik Ibrahim once settled in Kampa, now Cambodia, for 13 years since 1379. He even married the princess, who gave him 2 sons. They are Raden Rahmat, known as Saint Ambel, and Sayyid Ali Murtada aka Raden Sanjari. Feeling enough to carry out missionary mission in that country, in 1392 Maulana Malik Ibrahim moved to Java Island to leave his family. Some versions state that his arrival was accompanied by several people. The first targeted area is Sembalo village, an area still within Majapahit's territory. Sembalo village now is Luran district Manyar district, 9 kilometers north of the city of Gresik. The first activity he did at that time was to trade by opening a stall, the shop providing basic needs at a low price. In addition, specifically Malik Ibrahim also provide themselves to treat the community for free. As a physician, reportedly, he had been invited to treat the king's wife from Kampa. The possibility of the consort is still his wife's relative. Grandfather Pillow also teaches new ways to grow crops. He embraces a lower-class society set aside in Hinduism. So perfect his first mission, which is to find a place in the hearts of the people around when it was hit by economic crisis and civil war. Completed building and arranging the cottage for religious study in Luran, in 1419 and Maulana Malik Ibrahim died. His grave is now located in the village of Gapurad, Gresik, East Java. N. 2. Saint Ambel. He is the eldest son of Maulana Malik Ibrahim. According to the Babatan Ajowi and the Saint Qudus lineage, in his childhood he was known by the name of Raden Rahmat. He was born in Kampa in 1401 AD. Ambel's own name, identified with the name of the place where he lived long. In the Ambel or Ambel Dental area, the area that is now part of Surabaya, Wonokromo city now. Some versions state that Saint Ambel entered the island of Java in 1443 AD alongside Sayyid Ali Murtado, the younger brother. Year 1440, before to Java, they stopped first in Palembang. After 3 years in Palembang, then he docked to the area of Gresik. Continued to go to Majapahit to meet her aunt, a princess from Kampa, named Dwarawati, who differs untayan one of the king of Majapahit Hindu title King Kinkartawihaya. Saint Ambel married the daughter of a duke in Tuban. From his marriage he was blessed with several sons and daughters. Among them are the successors are Saint Bonang and Saint Drahad. When the Sultanate of Demak, 25 kilometers south of Kudus, was about to be established, Saint Ambel helped establish the first Islamic empire in Java. He also appointed his pupil Raden Patah, the son of King Brawijaya king of Majapahit, to become Sultan of Demak in 1475 AD. In the swampy Ambel Dental, the area which was awarded by King Majapahit, he built to develop a boarding school. At first he embraced the surrounding community. In the mid-15th century, the peasantry became a center of education that is very influential in the archipelago and even abroad. Among the Santri are Saint Giri and Raden Patah. The Santri are then distributed to preach to various corners of Java and Madura. Saint Ambel adheres to the Hanafi jurisprudence. However, in his Santri, he only gave a simple teaching that emphasizes the cultivation of faith and worship. He was the one who introduced the term, Mo-limu, Mo-main, Mo-ngam, Mo-thief, Mo-madat, Mo-maiden. It is a call to, not gamble, not drink, not steal, do not use narcotics, and do not commit adultery. Saint Ambel was thought to have died in 1481 AD in Demak and was buried in the west of Ambel Mosque, Surabaya. 3. Saint Giri. He has a small name Raden Pakhu, aka Muhammad Ainul Yakin. Saint Giri was born in Blambangan, now Banyuwangi in 1442 AD. Some call it Jaka Samudra. a name attributed to his childhood that his mother's family had once discarded a Blambangan princess named the Wisakardadu into the sea. Raden Paku was then picked up by Nyai Sembaha, Babad Tanajowi Mindma version. His father is Maulana Isaac, brother of Maulana Malik Ibrahim. Maulana Ishaq managed to convert his wife, but failed to convert his father-in-law. That's why he left his wife's family wandering up to the ocean Pasai. Little Saint Giri studied at his miserable pesantren, St. Ampel, where Raden Pata also studied. He had wandered to Malacca and Pasai. After he had enough knowledge, he opened a pesantren in the hilly area of Sidomukti village, south of Gresik. In Javanese, the hill is Giri.so. He was nicknamed Saint Giri. Pesantren are not only used as a place of education in a narrow sense, but also as a center of community development. King of Majapahit. Conan, for fear of Saint Giri, trigger a rebellion, giving him the flexibility to govern the government. So the pesantren was developed into one of the power centers called Giri Ketatun. As a government leader, Saint Giri is also referred to as King Satmata. Giri Ketatun grew to become an important political center in Java. Then, when Raden Pata broke away from Majapahit, Saint Giri acted as advisor and military commander of the Demak Sultanate. It is recorded in Babad Demak. Furthermore, Demak cannot be separated from the influence of Saint Giri. He is also recognized as Mufti, the supreme leader of religion, the land of Java. Giri Ketatun survives up to 200 years. One of his successors, Prince Singosari, was known as the most persistent figure against the collusion of the VOC and Mangkaratu in the 18th century. The Santri of Giri Pesantren are also known as the persistent spreaders of Islam to various islands, such as Bawin, Kanjin, Madura, Haruku, Ternate, to Nusa Tenggara. The spreader of Islam to South Sulawesi, Dachukri Bandang and his two companions, is a disciple of Saint Giri from Minangkabau. In religion, he is known for his extensive knowledge in the jurisprudence. People also call him Sultan Abdul Faqih. He also created extraordinary works of art. Children's games like Jelingan, Jamuran, Lor Ilir and Kublak Suweng are referred to as Saint Giri creations. Similarly, Jending as Maradona and Pukang again nuance Javanese but a condition with the teachings of Islam. 4. Saint Bonaang. He is the son of Saint Ampel, which also means the grandson of Maulana Malik Ibrahim. His first name is Raden Makdum Ibrahim. Born as estimated 1465 AD from a woman named Nyajang Manila, daughter of a duke in Tuban. Saint Kurtis Meni studied at Saint Kaliyaga. Then he traveled to various barren areas of central Java such as Sragan, Simotugan Kidul. The way of preaching also mimics the approach of Saint Kaliyaga, very tolerant of local culture. The way of delivery is even more subtle. That is why the saints who are hard-pressed to find the preachers to Aquitas, whose majority of the people are adherents, point to it. The way Saint Kutas approaches the holy community is by utilizing the Hindu and Buddhist symbols. It is seen from the architecture of the holy mosque, the shape of the tower, the gate and the shower wadhu that symbolizes the 8 ways of Buddhism, a form of compromise by Saint Kutas. One time, he lured the public to go to the mosque listening to his sublai. For that, he deliberately tethered his cow named Kibogu in the yard of the mosque. Hindus who glorify cows become sympathy, especially after they heard Saint Buddha's explanation of Al-Baqarah's letter, which means cow. Until now, some traditional communities of Kutas still refuse to slaughter cows. Saint Kutas also composed the stories of Ketahidan. The story is set in a series, so that people are interested to follow it. An approach that seems to adopt the 1001 Night story from the time of the Abbasid Caliphate. That's how Saint Kutas binds the people. Not just preaching like that is done Saint Kutas. Like his father, he was once the commander of the war of the Demak Sultanate. He fought Wadamak, under the leadership of Sultan Prawata, fought against the Duke of Japang, Arya Penangsang. 5. Saint Kaliyaga. He is the saint whose name is most widely called the Java community. He was born around 1450 AD. His father was Arya Wilatikta, Duke of Tuban, descendant of Majapahit rebel leader, Ranglalawa. At that time, Arya Wilatikta is thought to have embraced Islam. Saint Kaliyaga's first name is Raden Said. He also has a number of nicknames such as Lokajaya, Sheikh Malaya, Prince Tubano Raden, Abdurrahman. Wrote Apiat, various versions of the origin of the name Kaliyaga he bear. Chiraban people argue that the name came from the village of Kaliyaga in Chiraban. Saint Kaliyaga indeed lived in Chiraban and was close friends with Saint Gunung Jati. The Javanese associated with the favors of this saint for bathing, kungkum in the river, times or watch time. But some say the term is derived from the Arabic, Kadlit Zaka, which refers to his status as the Prince of Holiness of the Empire. The lifespan of Saint Kaliyaga is estimated to reach more than 100 years. Thus he experienced the end of Majapahit rule, ending 1478, Sultanate of Demak, Sultanate of Chiraban and Banten, even the Kingdom of Pajang born in 1546 and the beginning of the Mataram Kingdom under Panembahan Senapati. He also helped design the construction of the Great Mosque of Chiraban and Demak Great Mosque. The title pole, broken pieces of wood which is one of the main pillars of the mosque is the creation of Saint Kaliyaga. In Dua, he has the same pattern with his mentor as well as his close friend, Saint Bonaeng. Their religious beliefs tend to be Salaf-based Sufists, not pantheistic Sufi cults. He also chose art and culture as a means to preach. He is very tolerant of local culture. He argued that people would stay away if God attack against their principles. Then they should be approached gradually, to follow while affecting. Saint Kaliyaga believes that if Islam is understood, by itself the old habits are lost. So the teachings of Saint Kaliyaga seem syncretistic in introducing Islam. He uses the art of sculpture, wayang, gamelan, as well as the art of sound as a means of propaganda. Dakwal. He is the creator of the Bahu Takwal, the celebration of the patent, the Grebeg Maulid, Layang Kalimasada, the puppet plays Petruk Jati Raja. The city center's landscape is Kraton, the square with 2 banyan trees, and the mosque is believed to be the work of Saint Kaliyaga. That dua method is very effective. Most of the dukes in Java embraced Islam through Saint Kaliyaga. Among them are Duke Padanan, Kardajura, Kebumen, Banyumas, and Pajang, now Kotagid, Yogya. Saint Kaliyaga is buried in Catalanu, Parklatan Demak. 6. Saint Gunung Jati. Many senseless stories are associated with Saint Gunung Jati. Among them is that he had experienced a spiritual journey such as Isra, Miraj, then met Rasulullah, met Prophet Khidir, and received the will of Prophet Sulaiman. Babad Chiraban manuscript Clion, p.xxii. All that just hinted at the admiration of the community at Saint Gunung Jati. Saint Gunung Jati or Sirif Hidayatullah is estimated to be born around 1448 AD. His mother is Nyirara Santarang, daughter of King Pajaharan and Raden Manararasa. His father was Sultan Sharif Abdullah Maulana Huda, the greatest Egyptian of Bani Hashim from Palestine. Sirif Hidayatullah studied religion since the age of 14 years from the scholars of Egypt. He had traveled to various countries. Following the establishment of the Sultanate of Bintoro Demak, and on the blessing of other scholars, he established the Sultanate of Chiraban, also known as Palkunwadi Sultanate. Thus, Saint Gunung Jati is the only Saint Sungo who leads the government. Saint Gunung Jati utilizes its influence as the son of King Prajaharan to spread Islam from the coast of Chiraban to the interior of Pasundan or Priangan. In Dakwal, he embraces the trend of the Middle East is straightforward. but he also approached the people by building infrastructure in the form of roads that connect between regions. Together with his son, Maulana Hasan Udman, Saint Gunung Jati also made an expedition to Banten. The local ruler, Pusukumam, handed over the volunteer mastery of the Banten territory, which later became the forerunner of the Sultanate of Banten. At the age of 89, Saint Gunung Jati resigned from his post to only pursue Dawah. The power was handed over to Prince Pasurian. In 1568 AD, Saint Gunung Jati died at the age of 120 years, in Cirebon, formerly Carbon. He was buried in the area of Mount Sembung, Gunung Jati, about 15 kilometers before the city of Cirebon from the west. 7. Saint Drahad. His first name is Raden Kozum. He is the son of Saint Ampel. Thus he was siblings with Saint Bonrang. It is estimated that Saint Drahad Raden's Yafud entitled was born in 1470 AD. Saint Drahad got the first task from his father to preach to the coast of Gresik, by sea. He then stranded in Hamlet Jalog coastal Banjarwadi or Lamangan now. But the next year Saint Drahad moved 1 kilometer to the south and founded Podpolkan Santri de Lemdire, now called Asadrahad, Pachuran Lamangan. In the teaching of Tawhid and Akida, Saint Drahad takes his father's way, direct and not much approaching the local culture. Nevertheless, his way of adapting the way of art is done by Saint Muria, especially art of bust. So he composed a number of mysticisms, among them the Suluk Pitua, give the stick to the blind feet, the hungry give clothes to the naked ones. Saint Drahad is also known as a helpful, earthy man. In his boarding school, he keeps many orphans and needy children. 8. Saint Qudus. His little name is Jafar Siddiq. He is the son of Saint Nudung and Syrifa, Saint Bonrang's sister, the son of Nyajang Maloka. It is mentioned that Saint Nudung was one of the sons of the Sultan in Egypt who traveled to Java. In the Sultanate of Demak, he was appointed commander of the war. Saint Qudus. Many studied at Saint Kaliyaga. Then he traveled to various barren areas of central Java such as Sragan, Simotugunung Kidul. The way of preaching also mimics the approach of Saint Kaliyaga, very tolerant of local culture. The way of delivery is even more subtle. That is why the saints who are hard-pressed to find the preachers to Qudus, whose majority of the people are adherents, point to it. The way Saint Qudus approaches the holy community is by utilizing the Hindu and Buddhist symbols. It is seen from the architecture of the holy mosque, the shape of the tower, the gate and the shower wadhu that symbolizes the 8 ways of Buddhism, a form of compromise by Saint Qudus. One time, he lured the public to go to the mosque listening to his sublai. For that, he deliberately tethered his cow named Kibogumrang in the yard of the mosque. Hindus who glorify cows become sympathy, especially after they heard the explanation of Saint Qudus about the letter of al-Baqarah, which means cow. Until now, some traditional communities of Qudus still refuse to slaughter cows. Saint Qudus also composed the stories of Katahidan. The story is set in a series, so that people are interested to follow it. An approach that seems to adopt the 1001 Night story from the time of the Abbasid Caliphate. That's how Saint Qudus binds the people. Not just preaching like that is done Saint Qudus. Like his father, he was once the commander of the war of the Demak Sultanate. He fought while Demak, under the leadership of Sultan Prawada, fought against the Duke of Japang, Arya Penangsang. 9. Saint Muria. He is the son of Dewi Sara, younger sister of Saint Giri and son of Sheikh Maulana Ishaq, with Saint Kaliyaga. His first name is Raden Prawodo. Muria's name was taken from his last residence on the slopes of Mount Muria, 18 kilometers north of the Qudus city. Dakwanya style took many ways his father, Saint Kaliyaga. But unlike his father, Saint Muria would rather live in a very remote area and away from the city center to spread Islam, hanging out with the commoners, while teaching farming skills, trading and going to sea is his favored. Saint Muria is often used as an arbitrator in the internal conflicts of the Demak Sultanate, 1518-1530. He is known as a person who can solve various problems no matter how complicated the problem. Solutions are always acceptable to all the hostile parties. Saint Muria preaches from Japara, Tayu, Wanatu about Kudus and Pati. One of the results of his da'ah through art is the song Sinam and Kinansi through art is the song Sinam and Kinansi through art is the song Sinam and Kin